Hey there, it's Links. I thought to share a little tutorial for you. So I'm going to just share just a little something that I recently did, and I was asked exactly how I did it. So I figured, you know what, why not do a tutorial and share it so that you guys can do something like it also in your ministry or for your team. Let me bring this down just a little bit. Let me see if that's, whoops, sorry. There we go. Now you guys see all of my little headlines up here. So, okay, this is what I'm going to show you. What I did recently for my team was a little keepsake with verses. Let me bring it to the camera. So this is what I'm talking about. It's a little notebook, okay? And these actually come 4 in a pack for $1 at Dollar Tree, and 4 different designs actually in each pack. So then this is what I did for my team. I did a little keepsake where I found this little border, to then add this verse. Now, we go to a bilingual church, Spanish and English, so I usually read my Bible in Spanish, so my verses are in Spanish. And I made verses in both languages, in English and Spanish. So this was one design. Here's another, Proverbs 22:6. And here's one more, Deuteronomy 32:2. Oops, are we out of focus? Here we go. So just to give you an idea how and what you can do, should you want to do something like this for your team, for your ministry, or even for you, just yourself to keep. So I've had this little notebook like at the dining room table, and I'll read over them, and I'll add little notes or tidbits. So I wanted to teach on how exactly I do this on the computer. So first things first, when I go into a search, hold on, let me click out so I can show it up. When I go into a search, I'll type in free border templates PNG, for example. Now, PNG means that the graphic is pretty clean. The larger the graphic, the better, because if you need to size it, if you need to, like, for example, make it smaller, it will shrink in good quality. It will not be pixelated. But if you choose a graphic that's small and then you need it bigger, then it's going to become pixelated and it's going to be a little blurry and fuzzy. And, well, you know, me having worked in computer graphics for 2 years, it just doesn't look pretty, and it just doesn't give you the best quality. So PNGs, see, PNG, are your best images. Now you can look for JPEGs. JPEGs are JPG, and you can also look for GIFs, GIF. Look and see that they're free, you know, that you can freely use them. But this is what a PNG looks like. So these are probably all PNGs, and then again, when you look at them, they may not all be PNGs. But for example, look at this one. Did I click on it? Here we go. PNG means that this area here will be, clear. There won't, usually in a graphic, you'll see white space here. Well, there's zero, nothing. It's just the border, and there's nothing in here. So what's nice about it is you don't have to clean it up, and you can definitely use a graphic like this one on any colored paper, because you don't have to worry about there being an automatic white space in the background. So I'm going to use this one because it's a nice clean PNG. So I'll right click, let me do that again, copy image, and then I like to use Word. I use Word for just about everything, but you can use the same tools also in PowerPoint. PowerPoint is also a nice one that I like to use too, but because PowerPoint, I usually use it for my slideshows, for my kids on Sundays when I'm doing the class, where I add, music and videos and whatnot. I usually use PowerPoint for just that. So here in Word, I'm going to go to page layout first, and I'm going to change the orientation of my paper. So right now it's in portrait, so I'll do landscape. So this is what happens. So now that I've got my image, I'll right click. You can also do these. I'm a very shortcut queen. When you want to copy something, you can also do Control C. You click on Control and then you click on C. And then when you want to paste something, you're going to click Control V. So either you right click or you can do Control V to paste. Now, when I click on my image, you see this little box. This is what I like to do on everything that I use, because when I do this, I'm able to freely move around my graphic. When I don't do this, it just doesn't work for me. So here's what I'm going to show you. So, okay, I wanted to go drag it. You see, I'm clicking on it and trying to drag it, and it won't let me. So what I do is I click on that box, and I always choose this one where it says in front of text. So click on that. Now when you're wanting to downsize your images, this is a little trick that I learned when I was doing computer graphics back in college. So what you want to do so that your graphics are nice and clean as you size them, you're going to hit the button Shift. You're going to hold on to it. So click Shift and then grab this corner, for example, and start dragging it down. And you see how everything is being sized together. When you don't do that, let me do Control X to undo. So I hit Control X. Oh, I have no idea what just happened there. Let me go hit paste again. I don't know what I did. Control Z. Oh, I did Control X to delete it. Sorry. Control Z to undo. Scratch that. Control Z to undo. So let's do that again. I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to grab it from the corner, and then everything is downsizing all together. So I'm going to hit Control Z. Let's go back again. If I don't do that, this is what happens. Like I'm just dragging it from this edge, but not everything is probably sizing as cleanly. When you size it down with the Shift, it really changes the size for you in a cleaner format than if you do it without Shift. So I always hold down my Shift. This is something that you learn in college with the computer graphics. As you're dragging it, everything's to be dragging accordingly together. So then there, let's say this is about the size that I want because of what I'm doing for my little keepsake notebook. So because I like this size so far, maybe I'll make it a little wider, okay? So again, I'll hold on my Shift button so that it's nicely being stretched out. Okay, so whoops, I didn't want to do that. Let me click out, click back in, and move it. Here we go. So about this size is what seems to work for me. So now, for me to add in a verse, I'm going to click on Insert up here, and then I'm going to click on Text Box. So once I click on Text Box, I usually always pick this one, which is the simple text box, and then this is what you're going to have. And again, I click on the line, and you see that little box. I'm going to hit this one here in front of text. This allows me, as anytime that I click on my box, and you want to make sure that your lines are solid all around so that you can do this. You can move it everywhere you need to and whatnot. Now, look at the text box. You see how it's got white in the background, which is covering up the edge of this border that I picked. So what I'm going to need to do now is I'm going to have to clean that up so that when I'm typing in my text, there's nothing in there that can cover up any of this background. So then I'll go to Shape Fill over here, and I'll go to No Fill. See? And now it's transparent in the background. But there is this outline. So again, now I need to clean that up. Okay, I've got my solid line. Whoops. What in the world? Here we go. I've got my solid line. What you can do is you can also do right click. This is a little shortcut. So then it gives you this little menu. There's fill, which right now it has no fill because I removed it. So now I'm going to go to outline, and I'm going to click on no outline. And now it's clean. See? Now I just have the grid lines to help me see the size of the text box. So now I want to choose a verse. So let me look up a verse. Okay, so now I've decided on a verse that I want to use, and there's a verse that I really like. I can look it up in my Bible easily, Psalm 119, 103. But I also like to use Bible Gateway online because in that way I can just copy it real quick and then paste it. It's just, you know, it's just quicker. But, you know, I'll choose a verse, and then I'll go ahead and use Bible Gateway to look up the verse in different versions. And I mean, I like New King James Version, but I also like using, for my kids on Sundays, New Living Translation, just because sometimes some of the words are broken down a lot easier. But in this verse, I mean, I feel the words are just very self-explanatory, and I love it because it just talks about how sweet are your words to my taste. You know, God's words, they are sweeter than honey to my mouth. So I absolutely love this verse. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy it, and again, I can do Control-C, you know, or if you want to go the old-fashioned and do right-click, you can do that as well, copy, and then I'm going to go back into Word, and I'm going to do Control-V, or right-click and paste it in. Now it's a little small, so to make this bigger, you can do Control, hold it, and with your mouse, scroll up to make your page bigger. And now let me use this little bar down here to drag it over, and that way I can see my verse better. Now I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to use my center, and I'll center it. And then, I think this looks like a comma. Let me backspace it. Yep, here. There we go. How sweet are your words to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Oh, and I need to add in the Psalm 119, 103, right? 103, 103. Let me make sure. How sweet are your words? Yep, in my Bible, 103. So, okay, and then, you know, if you want, you can add the, you know, New King James Version so that they know. And for the font, you can keep the font you pasted. I'm kind of really liking this font. So if you want to change your font, this is the area that you need to go to. And then, of course, I'm going to change the size so that it can fill up the white space within the border. So this is a font that I really like. I'm liking lately Century. It's called Century Gothic. And so then I'll hit enter and see it'll change it. I don't know. I guess I like the way the A's look and the E's. So I've been picking this font lately a lot. So, okay, here we go. Let me now change the size. I'll go into this box. I usually pick 20. All right, that might be a little too big, but let's see. Let me drag this in here. I think that looks okay. And then, because I'm kind of picky, I might make this a little smaller because I want to make the verse stand out more. Add my little quotes. And now let me hit Control, and I'm going to back out so I can just kind of see it on the page as a whole. Okay, I might bring it down just a little more with my arrow keys. Let me make sure it's all centered. How sweet are your words to my taste? All right, I think that looks good. So now here's a little trick I'm going to show you. That's really going to help you out. You're going to click on your text box, solid line. Then you're going to hold down the key Shift, okay? When you hold down Shift, now click on your border. You see that? Now you've got your border selected as well as your text box. Then on one of the solid lines, right click. And this little pop-up menu is going to come up. Trust me, this is going to be a lifesaver for you in learning how to group your graphics with the text. So you're going to click on group, and you're going to click group again. Now you're going to click it. Now I'm going to click into this white space, and this is what you can do now. Move it all over, and it's all together. That's what you want to do. This is going to be your best friend, trust me. So now, okay, now I want to make a few copies of these. So then, you know, whoops, you don't want to do that. If you do this, you see where you've got two areas selected, the outer and the inner. You don't want to do that because if you do that, you're going to end up moving either the border or the text. So you want to make sure it's a solid line so that you can right click. I think I did it wrong again. Here we go. Right click. Here we go. And you're going to copy. And by copying, either do Control V or right click to paste. Here I've got my second one. Okay? And so now I'll use the key Shift, and now I've selected both of them. And I'll do Control C. I'll click on the white area, and then I'll do Control V. And here we go again. Okay, sorry about the pauses, but I have a little toddler that every now and then needs my help. So, okay, back to this. Now I've got 4 on here. I usually like to do 6 on a page. So now this means I'm going to have to size these down. So I'm actually going to click on these 2. I'm going to delete them, okay? And what I'm going to go ahead and do is just grab these 2, and I'm going to bring them down. And again, use your shift key because it helps everything size together in proportion. That might be a good size. So now I'm going to have to change the size of my font. So I'm going to click inside the font, and I believe I had it at 20, so let's try, how about 17? Oh, 17, let me see. 17 doesn't look bad. So then I'll do the same over here and click on 17 and make sure I like how the words look. Now I'm going to click on it again, shift, and, or excuse me, not shift, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to click on them again and just drag them how I want, where I want them to be. I wonder if I can, here we go, click this again, move it over. Uh-oh, it looks like my text. Let's try this again. Here we go. Bring that up with the arrow keys just a little bit. Now I'm going to click on these 2, Control C or right click to copy, click out of it, Control V to paste or right click to paste, whatever you prefer. Me, I just, using my keys are just quicker in my opinion. So now I've got 6 in here. Now I'm going to play with this page and see if I can copy another one and flip it and drag it over here to see if it fits. Dun, 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 dun. That looks good to me. So now I'll do the same with this one. Flip it. See this little here? You can flip it. And then just click on it and bring it over. Wait, that might be too close. Let me arrow and separate. Good. So these are kind of close to the top one, so I'm just going to click on both. And with my arrow keys, just little by little, separate them so that I've got some space for me to personally cut them out. Now, a quick little shortcut that I do is I'll use the key alternate, F for file, and then I'll use V to view so that I can see what the print preview is going to look like before it's printed. So that's something I do constantly. I always go alternate FV. It's just quicker than clicking on file and then looking to see where I can view it. I mean, it's just shortcuts that I learned back when I was in college and in high school that I still use today. So this is my print preview of what it's going to look like. So I do this a lot to make sure that everything is inside and nothing is going to be cut out. So here I've got a total of 8 little verses that I can print all on one page and include them in a little notebook like this, either for myself, for my team, or as a little gift or keepsake. So again, this is just a little tutorial just to kind of help you out how you can use graphics, borders, how to clean them up if you need to, and then add the text. So I hope you found this insightful and helpful. Just a little idea I wanted to share with you if you want to learn more or perfect your techiness. So leave a comment, and hey, thanks for the follow, thanks for watching, and many blessings. Have a great day. Bye-bye.